welcome to Adrenaline remotely from Wiley's Speed Shop. Actually, if you look right behind me, we're in Wiley's Fast Car Bar. And that is the ADRL 2008 Dragpalooza playing behind me. So fairs all day. Doctor, my brother, as I welcome you in. How's everything?
Life's good, brother. Life's good, man.
Another trip around the sun starting. I know he's not big on everybody wishing him happy birthday, but happy birthday to you, Doctor.
Thanks, man. I feel great.
You look amazing for 65, I got to tell you.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I've been told that once or twice.
I mean, I look like shit at 50. So, meanwhile, I got to tell you, there's a couple things well, you know what? Let's just address. I've been teasing you all day with your birthday present.
Yes.
So when we decided that we were going to do this, it wasn't going to be that we were going to half-ass it, or we don't half-ass anything. We weren't going to take it to where it was. We're going to take it so far beyond that. That was our deal. That's what we're doing. End of conversation. Our mission is clear. Fair enough?
Fair enough. 100% clear.
Okay. So if you're going to go all in on something, you got to go all in. You can't be, So with that, have you seen these, by the way?
Aren't they beautiful?
Sarcastically, they're called pisser posters. Why? Because they're 8.5 by 11s, and they go right above the urinal or in the stall, so that when drunk people are at the bar or the restaurant, or even not drunk people. But it's fun watching drunk people. I watched somebody try to do it today with their phone. They were going like this. Like, I can get it, man. Hold on. Boom. He was there. He had his free tickets. He was excited. But what I was saying is, so if you're going to go all in, you got to have a badass race, Dragpalooza, at a badass track, Extreme Raceway Park. And Kenny Nowling and the ADRL would not be complete unless Kenny Nowling and the ADRL were complete. And today, we became complete.
Oh, shit! Oh, let's go, baby. Let's go.
Now I can say, finally, the big head has come back to the great state of Texas.
Love it.
No, I don't want to get sued for trademark infringement, so that's as far as I'm going. But look at that, boys.
Bro.
Woo!
Yes. Oh,
happy birthday to you, brother.
I love it. Hey, man, I'll take it. I love it. That's a great present.
Listen, I have two children who've never seen me bald, okay? Right now, Mav and Dax are watching with their beautiful mother, and they're like, what is that, Dad? It's me, boys. I promise. It's me.
I hope they're not at home crying.
They are. Kind of like the kids at the mall back in the day. With a head as big as mine, I swear I'd walk through the mall and kids would be like, they'd like hold on to their moms and stuff, because that's why I stay fat. You knock me down 50 pounds, and I'm just telling you, I'm the most ridiculous. Remember Gazoo from the Flintstones? I'm just a taller version of Gazoo. Just telling you, like a toy with a watermelon resting on it.
It's beautiful. You got a beautiful dome there, my man.
Look at that dome, baby.
That is one shiny brain housing group there.
And let me tell you what, in this hot, humid Texas weather, I felt nothing but the cool breeze today, baby. And I got a lot of surface area to suck in all that cool breeze. You follow what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So let's tease next week's episode really quick, because this is the last time I have to wear these awful things. Thank you. I'm not going to call out the carrier because I've sent DHL, FedEx, and UPS a sponsorship proposal. So if I call one of them out, they're probably not going to, respond. But one of those three, who shall remain nameless, was delivering a package from the new sponsor of Adrenaline. Now you're going to have to wait a week because I don't have them.
Oh, man.
You just got to wait a week. Little teaser. Not only are we going to have the new Adrenaline sponsor, we're also going to have the title sponsor for Drag Stock. We'll make that announcement right here on Adrenaline next week, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. What say you, Doctor?
Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it, brother.
So, this is the first time we've been away from each other since we, consummated our relationship.
I don't know how to feel about it.
That's why we do this on Tuesday nights, as a reminder of that Tuesday night when we finally consummated our relationship, which with the approval of the wives. Let's not get weird. So, hey, I told you to bring. Listen, did I not ask you to bring Yingling? No, you had to bring Bud Light, and shit got weird.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
So I'm just telling you.
Throw me right under that bus like that, huh?
How'd you like to own stock options in AB InBev right now? Yikes. Huh?
Yeah, right.
I think I'd be on my way to somewhere, but I won't say where. Anyway, yeah. So these posters anywhere. If you don't see one of these, please just let us know because they're everywhere. And then of course these free tickets. And the cool thing about the free tickets, I didn't know how the first few days of promotions would go. You know, we've been to Texas a lot. Right behind me, we've been coming here since 2000. We went by the old Kennendale before we moved to the Texas Motorplex at Ennis in 2007. In 05 and 06, the World Finals were at Kennendale, Texas Raceway in Kennendale, Texas. Yeah, I said that. And Bubba and I went by there today, and we're right up to the gate. We're going to go in. We're going to take some selfies. Bridge is out. No bueno.
Oh yeah, that's no good.
Yeah, our VP of competition, Bubba. It's all he's up there. He's like, I'm not going to try to climb. I'm like, bro, I'm coming off. I don't want to like just spill the beans here on adrenaline, but I'm coming off a major neck incident over the winter, as you well know. Thank you, Dr. Thomas Forgier, the head of neurology at. What do you think Dr. Thomas Forgier, the head of neurology at St. John's Mercy, was thinking when he comes in and he's got to work on this?
He's like,
he's
scared
holy
shitless.
hell. Yeah. He's like, it's the most room I've ever had to work with.
Oh, hey, got a shout out from my
mom.
mom.
All over, and the
Thanks,
great
Mom.
thing
Love you.
is, on the back of the tickets, boom, baby. You see that?
Love
that little
it.
stamp is your chance to win $100. I know that there's $100. It may have already gotten a Nicholas raid, but I know it's on its way, along with a few other goodies. But yeah, all you got to do if you get these free tickets, and they're all over the great state of Texas. And if you haven't already subscribed to the ADRL Tour YouTube channel, it's real simple. At ADRL Tour, subscribe.
It's that easy. Go there,
and,
click subscribe, like. Love it.
Three outlaws joining us tonight.
3.
Steve, the Texas Grim Reaper Wiley, of course. Wild Wild West Johnson, and just entering the green room over here, the Texas Bounty Hunter.
Oh,
Caitlin
shit.
Smith. And his beautiful wife, Celeste. Yes, so
The
we're
big dogs.
We're all hands on deck. So before I bring them in,
The elite.
We've already established the fact that it's your birthday.
Yes, sir.
Come June 9th and 10th, when we really celebrate it, what are you most excited about, brother? Because you've seen the ADRL, you've sponsored it, you've been up close and personal, but now you're behind the curtain.
Man,
What are you most excited about?
I couldn't be. I think the thing that I'm most excited about is just seeing the big dogs unleashed. You know, just unchained and hitting it as hard as they can. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be a whole next level racing, man. I just can't. I can't wait to see those times, brother.
The number of people that have reached out in the last couple of days and let me know that they are building cars in time for Rockingham drag stock September 29th and 30th at the Rock. The number of people that have told me that they're already building cars for next year, it's overwhelming. I mean, I was thinking, you know, we get a group of guys together, we have a kick-ass 8-car field, unlimited, wide open. No, man. It will be in very short order. Now, listen, sometimes too much of a good thing is too much of a good thing. I don't need to tell Bubba Corzine when we had 53 Pro Extreme cars trying to qualify for a 16-car field in Texas, which, by the way, I don't know, there was probably another 35 or so Pro Nitrous cars on the property, so let me add that up. Let's just round down. We'll say 50 and 30. That's 80. Okay? Everybody agree with that? 80? Am I right on that? Fierce, doctor?
Yeah,
You're
that's
the doctor.
right.
You're the one with the PhD.
Hey, man.
So it's
Your
80.
numbers are jiving.
So what I'm saying is, and that wasn't even the largest, but we'll just use that as an example. So I'm just saying, if you're going to say you have the largest pro mod race on the planet, probably want to study your history a little bit.
Yeah.
Or
right.
come to Rockingham this September 29th and 30th. How about that?
Or that option. I like option 2. Show up.
So how do I address this? Well, I'm bald now. I can say whatever I want. We're going to have the logo redone for Adrenaline, by the way, which I'm completely fine with.
It's all good.
I can tell you who's not going to do it, though. Watching Lucas?
Are you watching, Lucas? It won't be you, partner.
You know what? He'll just call me and tell me his real name, because obviously it's okay. I love we had a lot of great times in the Middle East, but that guy is as Pakistani as this table is black.
I
I just want
agree.
to know his real name. Just be honest with me. How can we form a relationship if you're not going to be honest with me, Lucas?
Yeah. I'd have to imagine he's fairly intelligent. He's got
So,
a name of some
you know
sort.
who I've really been missing today? I got to say, my man Bones, my right hand, like since day one, boots on the ground in Jackson, South Carolina for the inaugural drag stock on the ADRL's birthday way back in 2004, October the 8th, which we will be celebrating 20 years next year, baby.
20
Now,
years.
so our 20th birthday is on October the 8th. Our 20th anniversary tour, because we started the tour the following year, the Flowmaster ADRL tour, is on. Well, we'll be back down here in March, but we'll make that announcement later.
Yeah.
I got to call the owner up in Montana, that Texas most wanted guy.
Up there on the
Of course, the real
farm,
boss is
his
here. I can just
ranch.
ask her. Celeste is here. We just need to see what we want to do. Let's just tell the world we want to bookend it in Texas like we used to. We used to start in Houston with Dragpalooza, and we'd end with the World Finals in Ennis, right?
Right.
Why not do the same thing? Only start at XRP and end at XRP. The people in Texas, this place, listen, it's the only state I've ever been in.
Sandwich
when I
country.
call someone who I think's 10 minutes away, and they're like, "What time do I need to be there for the show?" And I'm like, 6:30, and they're like, "Oh man, it's 4:00. I better leave." Huh?
What?
Like we could drive all the way through Missouri in the time that it took Wild Wild West to get here from where he lives in Texas. I asked Bubba, he went to a race the other weekend. I'm like, "Where are you at?" And he's like, "Texas." I said, "I thought you said it was 12 hours away." And he's like, "It is." I'm like, "How can you drive 12 hours and still be in the same state?" Like we can start in the
Texas
dead
for you,
center
bro.
of Missouri and drive in any direction, and we're in another state in 3.5 hours.
You got it right.
We're getting another county.
That's about how long it takes them to get to the next county.
Yeah, right.
And then the navigation with all the FM this and farm to market roads and stuff. Listen, Governor Abbott, I love you. If I were a Texan, I would have voted for you. We don't talk politics, so I'm going to leave it at that. But here's what I will say. Let's get the roads renamed. Let's make some sense of this. We got 35W north and south. What's the W for? I'm thinking it's west. I don't know which way to go. Is it west? Then we got 30E, which goes east and west. So when I see 30E, automatically I'm like, well, that's my exit. No, it's not. Now you're on 30E west. You're not on 30E east. So for all the things the great state of Texas has to offer, the Department of Transportation needs to get their act together.
That's right. I've always had the same thoughts about the roads in Texas. Always confusing, dirty, lots of potholes. Except for when you get into Dallas and some of the nicer surrounding areas, and the highways
Not in
are
this area, brother.
super nice.
Anywhere
Man.
in the DFW area, these are the smoothest, nicest
Yeah,
roads.
that's right.
I don't know what kind of iridescent paint they're using to make the lines and stuff, but let me just tell you, brother. At nighttime, don't have your fog lights on. Full on
Yeah,
white.
right. Hi, Hazel.
Fun.
Lots of people.
So,
Roy, appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, I can't read any of that, but
That's okay.
I'm glad you can.
Yeah, I'll throw it out there.
But I'll be able to next week when my new shades arrive that have the prescriptions in them.
Oh, dang.
Right now, I can't even see the camera in front of me. I have no idea what's going on. I just know that if I keep talking, people will keep turning it off, and eventually there'll be nobody watching, so it won't matter.
Yeah, you kind of look like a blind man, just sort of looking off into the distance while you're talking.
Hey,
and it's
let me be
cool.
clear about this, and I will never make light of blind people, especially in regards to what happened to our inaugural Pro Nitrous World Champion, Dan Parker. His tragedy has been well documented, although he's turned tragedy into triumph and is now the fastest blind human being on the face of the earth. But I've even joked about it. I call him Champ to this day. Anybody that wins an ADRL championship, that's their nickname forever, So look at Galen, look up at me, and he's like, well, you better get ready to start calling me Champ next year. Meanwhile, I thought Wiley was going to throw a beer at him. Things were about to get really Texas in here.
Yeah, that's great. Speaking of, where you at, man?
But so listen,
Where's this cool backdrop at?
See, he's so caught up in the fact that it's his 65th birthday. He's not even paying attention.
I'm not.
I introduced in the open. We're at Wiley's Speed Shop. Maybe I got the shirt on right
there.
Here.
It is. There it is.
Let me lean out of the way at Wiley's Fast Car Bar, and I'm going to do a quick little. Producer Adam's going to yell at me, and he's going to freak out and whatnot. I don't need that hat anymore. But I'm thinking about giving a little quick tour. you know,
Do a
as
tour.
we wind down the show. You can't believe what's behind the camera.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
And you got a couple of the pictures today.
Yeah, I sure did.
So,
Warehouse
anyway,
full of beautiful.
with all due respect to anybody that's actually lost their sight, the reality is there's only two kinds of people that wear, and in spite of my little vision problems that I joke about, I've got perfect vision. I had that LASIK stuff done, and it works wonders. The only thing they don't tell you, and if anybody's thinking about getting it, read that little bitty line at the bottom of like page 36 where it says, we'll have readers for you when you leave, basically because you won't be able to see anything 2 inches away. You'll be able to read stop signs or traffic signs or highway signs a mile up the road, but you won't be able to look at this ticket and tell me what date it's on. But you could have led with that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
I might have done something different, but as the old saying goes, there's only two kinds of people: those that wear sunglasses indoors, blind people and assholes. And I've got perfect vision, so
now there it is.
Figure that out.
There you go. It's the asshole for
we
you.
get set to bring in our first original ADRL outlaw. Again, want to thank Steve Wiley, his beautiful wife, their family for inviting us into their home. I'm actually, as not to have to commute all the way back, I'm staying in the apartment. There's even a 2-room apartment up here. They got a stocked fridge. I'm back here last night. I got the munchies. Don't ask me why. At about 2 in the morning, I make my way out. I'm making sandwiches. We got spread. We got pickles, salami. There's beer, like literally a full service bar. It's insane. Like I couldn't live here. Like I don't know how much I will actually weigh by the time the race comes. Thank God I'm out running around passing out tickets, burning the calories. Because every night I can just walk out. Like Jess makes sure that I don't leave the room after a certain hour. Ain't nobody up here watching me, Jack. This place is locked up tighter than Dick's hat band. There is nobody in here tonight but me and a dog outside. I'm going to find him tonight, and he and I are going to get an understanding. Okay, it's dark. That means dinner.
That's quiet time, buddy.
I need to settle down. And then, like, his buddies must have, like, come along. Because, listen, it's night, right? They want to have a good time, so they're doing their thing, you know, out dogging. Man, I finally hit the pillow, and it's so quiet. Like, you could have heard a pin drop, and then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. Dogs, like, I don't know if there's like we may need to check. Your neighbors may have a dog fighting ring going on or something back here. I'm not making light of that.
Could be a bunch of coyotes.
Lover.
Oh, they got a lot of coyotes out there.
I was saying earlier before my ADHD kicked in, passing out these tickets and not having Bones here with me in the seat and, you know, rubber banding them up and pulling in here and stuff. It's my dude, man. Day one. And then we brought on other people as the teams grew. Obviously his son, David Jr., AKA Boo, Frog, the original ticket master, and the lily pad. You remember the lily pad story. Cletus, who got stabbed right here in the great state of Texas passing out tickets. I told him 100 times.
Little shank action.
We don't want that riffraff. They know where not to go. Okay? Frog's like thinking, because Frog and Cletus, and how do you nickname someone named Cletus? Everybody's got a nickname. Frog's real name is Gerald Houston Neese, for example. Bones' real nickname is David Koch. What do you call a Cletus?
I would think that
like
was
Bubba,
the name.
You're Bubba. What do you say to that? Actually, he's Burt Corzine the third. Third, and don't ever forget it. Burt Worth from Fort Worth. Figure that out. That's strange. We'll bring him on in a minute too.
Yeah,
but
that is pretty cool.
Yeah, so everybody gets a nickname. You can't nickname Cletus.
No, you can't nickname
one
Cletus.
night, he's like, boss. He's like, I just got stuck. And I'm like, hey, that's between you and Frog. I don't want to hear anything else out of your mouth. Like, I don't want. Like, no, really? He's like, I got stabbed. Frog's like, give me the phone. He takes the phone out and he's like, man, he walked into a convenience store. We got off at the wrong exit. And some guy tried taking the tickets, and I think he got him with one of those like little fingernail files that come out in the Swiss Army knife. He's like, he's barely bleeding. I don't know if he was looking for workers' comp or what he was doing, but Cletus, if you're out there watching still, we love you. I got some sad and tragic news today, brother.
Oh, no.
And I only have to do this to pay respects because we're all about positive, upbeat vibes. But rest in peace, former ADRL Extreme 10-5 world champion Steve Gorman. He lived right here close by, and we were trying to get a hold of him and Michelle Wilson and bring as many of the former ADRL stars back in here, and we found out that Steve passed away.
Oh my gosh,
So
when did that?
To his family and
when was that, Kenny?
Sir?
When was that? When did that happen?
Well, I'm embarrassed to say 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
See how social media makes you lose touch with people?
Yeah, man.
As much as I miss anything in this world, anybody agree with me? A long distance phone bill. You don't want to know why? Because back then we would actually call and talk to people.
Right.
And see how they're doing and keep up with them. But when you see them on social media every day, you feel like you're watching them. You feel like you're following them. You're not.
Right.
You're not, man. So pick up the phone, call somebody.
Amen.
Just not while adrenaline's on. Wait till adrenaline's over and then call whoever you want.
That's right.
You can call me when adrenaline's over if you want. So let's bring in our first outlaw.
Let's do it. Who do we got?
At some point, I'm going to get up and let you ask the questions and just leave the three of them here. Because, again, you've got that unique thing where you're an owner now, but you're also still a fan. As am I. Listen, nobody's more diehard. Hello. And the reason it would have been cool to have Gorman here, by the way, is he's the one that shaved my head the first time. So if he hadn't passed away, we were going to have him shave it tonight on the show, and it would have been kind of a cool thing. But
oh, I love it.
Stevie, I know you're watching down on us. This guy, what's the easiest way to explain him? So aside from this being his wonderful establishment and him having some hospitality so that I'm not driving either to Ferris or Gun Barrel City. That's a real place, by the way.
Gun Barrel City.
Only
That's about as
Texas
as it gets.
In Texas, baby. Gun Barrel City, Texas. Bubba, cut him off, Galen. Bubba just knocked his beer over. It's a party now. Oh, see, even worse. He knocked over Galen's beer. And of the extreme outlaws in the room, Galen by far has got the biggest gun. So I don't want any problems out of Galen Smith. Can I just be clear on that? I really wish I could read what Al Tucci's saying, but again, the camera.
He says here, I'll read it. My condolences to Steve's family. What a great racer, and put that championship together with everything he had in his soul.
Oh, he did, man. And Tucci, you're exactly right. And that lap at Rockingham when he went up on two wheels and stayed wide open throttle and still got the round win. I mean, one of the most epic passes ever. Speaking of
Hi, Kim.
Hey, Kim Morrell. Future. Okay, so let's address one last thing before we bring on our guest. I don't know whose idea it was to come up with the name for these really cool bikes that are sort of an offspring, if you will, of Pro Extreme Motorcycle. 460 index. Like, first of all, as a promoter, I don't want anybody knowing that they're running slower than they used to because they're still awesome. They look great. They do awesome burnouts. They're still hauling ass. The human eye, although the scoreboard tells a story, the human eye can't tell the difference between 4.6 and 4.0. So, ladies and gentlemen, the official name for our iteration of that is...
Drum roll.
Extreme Index Motorcycle, making its debut right here at Dragpalooza June 9th and 10th. Already got like 16 bikes ready to rock and probably another dozen on the way. So
Extreme Index, baby.
Motorcycle. Yes.
Love it.
And who knows, it may turn into 420 Index. So I don't want to brand a class that's 460. I mean, once these guys and gals get rolling, you know.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Extreme Index Motorcycle making its debut right here at Dragpalooza in Texas. With that, my host, my landlord for the time being, if you will, and two-time Pro Extreme runner-up, both times, to future Hall of Famer Joshua Hernandez. It's the Texas Grim Reaper, Steve Wiley. Stevie,
Wiley.
I got to tell you, buddy, we're watching the 2008 Dragpalooza behind us here. Little more gray, just a little.
Oh, shit, it's been a minute.
Just a little. It has been a minute. So Joshua Hernandez, 2 finals, two bridesmaids, unfortunately. Your blower, I understand, is on a Southwest Airlines flight. Am I getting that right?
The blower is on its way back from Cantrell tomorrow. So, you know, ain't nothing like waiting until the last minute on some shit.
But like for real, okay? He loves this class so much in order to be ready for Dragpalooza, which, again, he runnered up at back in 2008. God, that was a wife and 4 kids ago for me. 3.
Glad you're saying it, not me saying it.
Well, I mean, it's true. It's true. It is what it is. But meanwhile, everybody else here is still with their same wife. Huh. Must be something.
Hey, thanks, Dad.
Yeah, well, it's yeah. Listen. Anyway, that's a whole nother show. We don't have time.
Right.
So Steve, I have to ask. All right, you're the Texas Grim Reaper. The race is obviously in your own backyard. What would it mean to you, especially after taking a few years away? What would it mean to you to get that win in front of everybody here in the great state of Texas?
That's pretty huge. It would be, huge. I mean, I started off watching Galen and Frankie and got hooked on it. So to go out there and do, win one of these deals, that'd be huge.
And this isn't this pro extreme thing that because some guy couldn't get the weight out of his car, we had to make him weigh like 29,000 pounds or something. This is real deal. Run what you brung, hope you brung enough. Pass Rick Moore, our director of tech, pass the most rigorous safety inspection you'll go through, and then it's wide open, anything goes.
Right.
How does that factor in as far as from a competitive standpoint? Because that it's on you because you've got every available option when it comes to horsepower.
Well, everything's got to go our way. There's going to be lighter cars out there. There's going to be guys that have got, the latest and greatest equipment. We just got some old Brad Anderson stuff. Some of it's kind of new. Some of it's
some old 350 stuff
used.
Just sitting in the corner over here.
It's won races before, and that same stuff has been 350s before.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, we just got to be on our game. We gotta be there. In every round, we've got to be first out of the gate and first to the stripe.
Well, the next guy I'm going to bring on was talking about that very thing, and his thought was that, and again, can we just get back to the fact that Steve, the Texas Grim Reaper Wiley, bought an airline ticket for his blower. It is on Southwest Airlines heading here right now. Okay?
In the morning, but yes.
It'll be here in the morning, but I mean, it's somewhere between here and there.
Having some peanuts and a beer, hopefully.
Hey, look at that. You can up a stand.
Well,
the champ himself, Steve Wiley. 19 reaction time. Right behind us. Look at that.
Kind of a
Sorry, we're getting distracted. We got a show going on here. We got a show going on there.
Kind of a Cinderella story. I like to think that we've come a long way in regards to performance.
Absolutely. Back then, you were the Cinderella story, though.
We don't necessarily need a Cinderella story.
No. Listen, when the Texas Grim Reaper 18-wheeler pulls through the gate, there's a serious player in town. Wes said he could have saved a little money on getting the blower in and the truck cleaned and the car redone because Wes is taking home the trophy at Dragpalooza, so he's not exactly sure. Ladies and gentlemen, waiting for the debut of his brand new Larry Jeffers Race Cars built Pro Extreme Real Outlaw. So everybody else that's been plagiarizing that term and using it to suit your needs for the last whatever many years, all right, we need to shut it down. Because if you want to be a real outlaw, you got to come play in Pro Extreme. None of this, but my car's too heavy, or the track isn't prepped perfectly. I don't know what. Come on, man. Put your big boy pants on or big girl pants. There's a little teaser for you because I had a call from a lady today who's going to be making her return, possibly at Rockingham if she can get her motor together.
Oh boy!
So that, ladies and gentlemen, Wild Wild West Johnston, my buddy.
Wild Wild West.
This is so cool for me. Like I'm in Texas. It's a reunion. All right, Fierce. He's all yours. He's got a new I don't even know what kind of car it is. He's not telling anybody. So see if you can get it out of him.
Oh, okay. So you got a Jeffers chassis. What about your power plant?
Yeah, it's got a Andy McCoy 79 vet body on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Randy Merrick hadn't done it very much justice, but I think I can make it.
Say that.
I think I can make it do some justice.
Good seeing you guys.
Sorry, Randy. Might as well get it started now.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Yeah. Get it started now.
You got a door slammer and you want to run.
Well, Randy's been kicking it down over there
Listen.
in NCA.
Hey,
Listen.
But that being said, it's all about the competition.
We are actually having the street in-laws. The
Any
street
of the
in-laws
street
can come if they want.
They're more than welcome.
They can come, any of them.
Frankie
all
likes
of them.
shooting ducks.
Yeah.
I mean, Frankie told me he's a duck hunter.
Oh, that's great.
What I'm asking everybody to do right now so that you can plan for Rockingham, we are going to have a memorial service of sorts. I want everybody to bring all their weight bars, the pucks, the lead that goes in them. Bring everything that adds weight to a drag racing car, sandbags, whatever you got in there.
Whatever
right?
you got.
Bring them to Rockingham. I've already ordered a casket. Okay. I'm going to get all 12 of the Outlaws. We're probably going to have 2. So I'll get another one, and I'll just ask my good friend Dan and Al down, our good friends, our hosts of Drag Stock, September 29th and 30th, to get another coffin and have the backhoe dig another hole. And then we'll have 6 Outlaws on each side of the casket, and we're going to actually bury, true story, we are going to bury and have a memorial service. I've already got the priest collar ordered and on the way from Amazon. It was like $2. Don't let the CFO freak out when she sees, why is Kenny ordering a collar? It's for marketing. It's 100% tax deductible.
It's marketing.
Get the casket. My buddy's a casket builder.
Tombstone Tommy Gray.
6 Outlaws are going to get the carry casket.
He could have told
There
me
it is.
that before I called
Casket
Tommy
builder.
Gray and ordered 2.
I
But
try to
anyway.
fill it up. I used to.
Who knows a casket?
So we're going to
builder?
put all the weight
Great.
in there, and we're going to bury it, memorialize it as it should be, and let it rest in peace.
Love it.
So,
It's going to be great.
The story was way cooler before I found out somebody actually died. I didn't know that before the show, but it was already in the write-up. So, but I'll tell you this, all joking aside, nobody, and I mean nobody, and Al Tucci will attest to this because he interviewed him as many times, probably more than I did. Brett Kepner could attest to this. Nobody lived life to the fullest. Steve Gorman trained, aside from being a badass Extreme 10-5 player and winning a world championship, Steve Gorman trained dogs for military only. This isn't something you couldn't bring in, Peaches and have her sit or any of that stuff.
I heard his dogs were badass.
War Dog. That was the name of his company. That was what was on his
War
card.
Dog. Doesn't get any cooler than that.
War Dogs. As a matter of fact, you could have been on tour with one of his dogs at some point when you were in the Marines.
So he's training them for their service dogs, literally.
Yes,
War dogs.
100%. 100%. That's all he did. And they were awesome animals, man. I got to see a few of them. Canines, excuse me, yes. Speaking of canine lovers, Bobby Don, the Godfather, tuning in, who's in the process of building, which will be our official charitable partner, Sarah's House, which will be the largest food pantry for animals on the planet.
Oh, that's cool.
Got the 5, him and Mama Fran, they got their 5013C. We're going to start, we've already got Purina to step up. They're going to make a huge donation, and we'll be encouraging the ADRL Nation to step on board with that as well. So SERA, Sarah's House, coming soon. Wes,
Yep.
tell Fears, I'm going to let him take over for a minute because I need a beer.
Yeah.
Steve was going to bring me one, but he's like, you're already raiding my refrigerator and doing all your own damn beer. Nothing wrong with those legs, you big-headed son of a... Anyway, Fears, you're the fan. Yeah, there is no lunch meat left in the refrigerator. We need cold cuts, people. This guy, Wild Wild West, Fears.
Yes, sir.
As a fan, you get to interview one of the top pro extreme outlaws in the world.
Love it. That's amazing.
Roll
Wes,
with it, brother.
Wes, I got a question for you, man. And Steve, maybe you could jump in too. So you're going, what, 215, 220 in an eighth, right?
Not a Bud
So
Light.
how in the hell are you able to steer?
I just close my eyes and count to 3 and then
That's it, right? Just
you
pray.
literally try to find you a place at the end of the track.
We
You
used
try
to
to drive
joke
to
around.
Gotcha.
What I do, I find it down there and I try to make it to that spot.
That makes sense. That makes sense. You know, I see
Try to stay in my lane.
I see guys, wheels off the asphalt or off the track, hauling ass at 220 miles an hour. And I'm thinking to myself, those chassis must be so fine-tuned and
they are.
ridiculously awesome to keep you guys straight with
Yes.
no front tires on the ground. It blows my mind. I'm thinking,
There's a lot of chassis set up. I mean, there's
oh,
a lot of working parts going on.
and is it
there's
true?
a lot happening as far as like taking fuel away from the car, timing.
We'll get you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll take
Bud Light.
no.
Bud Light.
I'm officially not a Bud Light
You don't
guy.
think Wiley's
There
a
you go.
marketer?
Yeah, I'm not either.
Wiley's a marketer. The
Hey, Miller-
mugs.
Hey, the Miller Lite went
Wiley's
way
speed
up.
Oh,
shop.
those are awesome. Yeah.
We got coasters, baby.
That's great, man.
That's right.
Miller Lite
We
sales
just have
went way
no
up.
cold cuts.
We don't have a Miller Lite.
That's fine.
Okay, so Fears.
Yeah, I got another question. Another question.
yeah.
I got questions.
Carry
all
on.
day.
Bro.
Come on.
Carry
So
on,
these days, technology has just become so advanced.
Oh man.
It's incredible to me. Has it gotten to the point where the suspension, your chassis, is it as well? Can you tune that as well with computers?
Yes.
Really?
Well, on the shocks and stuff, it still clicks. You still turn pressure and different stuff like that. But they got sensors on them, and you can see what they're doing.
Yeah, that's incredible, man.
Make adjustments
And
accordingly.
making adjustments accordingly. The coolest thing that I got that I think is going to be is the fuel injection on screw blower.
Fuel injection on a screw blower.
Fuel
That's
injection.
bitchin', man. Well, that's a whole nother level.
We can make a move with that thing and put the fuel right back in it. I mean, like that.
Wow.
We're used to and we hauled ass with it, was with jets and stuff like that. But with the fuel injection, I think I really think it's going to be the way.
Let me interject something in there. What he's saying there is that is going to be the reason he will not win the race.
Right.
He's gonna blow himself up.
We're going back old school, and I don't mind the electronics part of it because that's just the way things are going. But the fuel part of it's just not quite there yet. Some guys have hauled ass with it, but there's been a lot of catastrophic.
I mean, Paz went
failure.
55 with it.
Yeah, you did. How many times?
58.
I think the guy is.
Let's go.
He's a badass
It
tuner.
is just starting.
But the mechanical stuff is still. Where
I don't think they've had me involved. Is what the problem is.
Oh, there it is. There it is. They have Wes in there.
Man, I'm looking at 40s. I'm not even.
Amen, brother.
Hey,
Amen.
it's like our new
40s.
T-shirt, and I quote our new T-shirt. I said to Frankie Taylor, I said, somebody was bragging about how awesome their track prep was and everything the other day, and the 60-foot was like a 914 or something. Frankie says, if your 60-foot starts with a 9, you're already screwed.
Yeah.
You're already behind.
He's got a point.
Yeah.
So that is it. Those T-shirts will be available online at ADRLtour.com in the very near future. But thank you for that, Frankie. I'll send you your 20%.
So,
Before
Steven,
we let these two guys out of here, Producer Adam, I beg your forgiveness, sir. I was supposed to post today, but I've been a little busy with tickets and promotions. But it's no excuse. I told you I would, and I didn't. But I will get it ready for next week. The question. So if you want a question answered for next week's show, I'll put it up as soon as we're done here. If we actually read your question on the air, you're going to get a free ADRL set of decals and one of our new tour shirts.
awesome.
So, there you have it.
There you have it.
It's so cool watching the ADRL logo flash behind my big, bald head.
That's one
And I gotta say
big
something.
shiny dome.
5-inch TV, so you can get the.
Do you understand what he's saying? Look at these two big domes. Look at the size of my head.
Hey, there's a lot
Even when my wife was
brain matter
pregnant,
in there.
I could take Jess's belt and not touch.
There's
It
a
would
lot
end
of
up
knowledge
inside
in
and
there.
stop like
There's a lot of knowledge.
Hey, he's just a walking tub of knowledge.
He too, man. Proofs in the pudding.
Again, thanks to my main man, the Texas Grim Reaper, Steve Wiley, for all the hospitality. Before I bring in Galen and a surprise guest, the Texas Bounty Hunter coming in here, along with his BFF. They're over there sharing snacks and
Sharing a Bud Light.
Yeah, listen,
No, he ain't
we're
sharing
not
a Bud Light.
supposed to ever not Galen Smith. Trust me. I'm glad you're an O'Fallon and you said that. Anyway, we're not supposed to root, but every time a Texan comes to the line in a Pro Extreme, listen, there's a lot of badass Pro Extreme cars from the state of Texas. Three of the pilots are sitting right here. Bub is over there, and he's making sure the mic isn't on the radio and everything. He's like, "Go Galen, woo! Go Texas, woo!" Like he just drank a whole case of Bud Light. Yeah, it's something, man. Pom-poms with the Texas flags waving, and Leaf is like, will you just sit down and shut up? True story before I let these guys go. You guys don't remember this. Radford, Virginia.
Oh, man. I remember the
Way
snakes
back.
in the hills.
The snakes in the hills.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Well, that's another story.
The short shutdown.
Oh, the short shutdown.
Well, but in the first year. But again, we figured it
Hey,
out.
pull the chutes.
Hang on.
Shit.
If there's a suitcase in there, my friend. It's in the apartment back there. There's a tennis ball in it. Would you mind grabbing it for me? True story. I bring Wilson up. Hey, can you bring the owl when you come out too? Owl? Yeah, my pet owl's in there. He doesn't bite. For Christ's sake, he's only got one eye. Anyway. So the first year though, at Radford, Virginia, for the Independence Drags, you guys were running almost as quick and fast.
And the tree wasn't very high, so I couldn't see over those big old injectors.
And we fixed that. We put the extension on it. Bubba did. But my point, go ahead and cross it. I'm good at catching. See? Hey, whoa, got it, baby.
Got it.
This is Wilson. I found Wilson in a parking lot at a truck stop in 2000. Bones can answer this, like 2007 or 8. And it was just like, it became my little stress ball. Like, Wilson on that movie with Tom Hanks, the Castaway deal. Yeah. He had the volleyball. Well, I mean, it wouldn't make much sense for me to carry a volleyball around, but it does make sense to carry this around. This ball, after getting all the engineers up there and everybody trying to figure out, because from one year to the next, I'm telling you, from one year to the next, what's the Godfather saying there? I'm ready. Yes. He's got a 279 cubic inch Buick that just came back from Kenny Duttweiler.
Oh, wow.
1,600 horsepower on the dyno.
Duttweiler, probably.
279 cubic inches, making 1,600 horsepower.
Remember, Duttweiler.
So twin turbos will do.
Twin turbo ST.
Yeah. Twin turbo.
Turbos are bad to the bone, as George Thorogood would say. But anyway, so we've got a litany of engineers up there. They're gonna what's going on, this, that, and the other. So I started thinking to myself about the first time at the old Houston Raceway Park, right behind us, Dragpalooza. The left lane, running a quarter mile.
Didn't they pull the fence down there?
That was at Rockingham.
Oh, Rockingham.
But at Houston, there was already so many people
Houston
in there. It didn't matter. But I mean, you could basically say that about any ADRL race from 06 to 2010.
Wasn't Houston the largest?
Oh, it was the largest documented crowd. If anybody wants to dispute that number, hire an accounting firm like we did and count your fans, not the crew guys and their girlfriends and their dogs and the hamster, and just the fans that come through the gate. Largest single day crowd in drag racing history, 2008, Baytown, Texas. But so they've got all these engineers up there. I mean, we've got asphalt.
I signed a bunch of boobs that day.
All right, cut off.
Good for you, man. There it is. Cheers to the boobs.
13 here. These Texans, you never know where it's going to go. So I'm standing at the top of the hill. The only thing that I could think to myself, being, again, the least mechanically inclined person in the room always, was maybe like in Houston, when you get to the asphalt, there was a little bump. Well, their shutdown at Radford was uphill. And if you haven't seen the video, just go Google ADRL Radford, Virginia, Urban Hillbilly Action Videos. Sean Melton has the most amazing compilation of the scariest thing. Brett Kepner calls me on the cell phone, not even on the radio. He's like, listen, I know you think you're important, but you're really not. Bubba and Nathan's got this on lock. You need to get your ass to the top end right now. I don't want to hear a word out of your mouth. Just get in the car, motorbike, whatever. Get out here. Because this is the greatest thing I've ever done. I've been covering drag racing my whole life. This is insane. So I get down there, and Brett's laying up there, got his camel, got his shorts on. And I say that with all love and affection because Brett always wore. You remember the shorts that gym teachers used to wear? Yeah, that was Brett.
Yeah. The nut huggers.
Even the nut huggers. Even in the middle of December, it didn't matter. He would have on a parka, but he had on the gym teacher shorts. Anyway, Brett's laying on the hood of his Mercury Grand Marquis, which Mr. Dirt, by the way, has won more bracket races in that thing than probably anybody else on the planet, but that's his alter ego. I know you're still new, so I just want to bring you up to speed on that, Fears. That's all. Mr. Dirt.
Hey, I appreciate laying up there. It's all good, bro.
Okay. So anyway, we're sitting up there, and cars are sliding into the sand, bikes crisscrossing. It was like chaos. which I need to bookmark something about the NHRA Charlotte 4-wide race.
Well, Bobby Don said that right lane hit a bump.
Yes, in Houston. I believe it was the left lane. Left lane in Houston was one of the bump, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to question the Godfather, though. If he says right lane, it's right lane.
It was.
So check this out.
Hernandez got loose there.
Yes. The first time I made a comp eliminator pass there, I almost shat myself. But anyway, so I'm standing at the top of this hill, and I'm looking down, and the sun's beating on the asphalt because after the transition, it's uphill. So you've got all this shutdown, which wasn't very much. You've got shutdown, and the asphalt had just settled, man. The heat, the sun, and you couldn't see it to your blind eye. You couldn't see it. So I took this very tennis ball that's always with me, and I'm squeezing and trying to keep me calm because I broke like 30 radios, and the radio guy was really starting to grow tired of me bashing radios into the ground. So Wilson and I just roll him straight down from the top of the hill. He gets about 30 feet and starts going ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. That was the deal, man. So when they went through the only time in my life I've ever seen a car barrel roll.
Oh, shit.
The paint, Greg Godwin, he could have made the next round.
Yeah.
The video's on there. You can, or again, Urban Hillbilly Action Videos. Sean Melton, the man.
Yeah, I see their videos.
Yeah. So he's got the video, but that's what it was. So again, the least smartest person in the room and his little friend tennis ball. Hi, Wilson. We do talk at night sometimes. It gets lonely on the road, especially when Bones isn't here to spoon me. Bert, you bring him in with you. We don't want to introduce him prematurely. You're prematurely introducing Al shit to the table. Goodness, man. Try to save a good story with this guy around. These Texans, I thought they could drink beer. This one over here is about to fall over. And Bubba. Oh, copy that. So anyway, yeah, so that's what it was. That's what it was. So, and we settled the breach of contract lawsuit because I couldn't let my guys race there the next year. Safety over everything. So wrote David, I love him to death. Matt Hagan, funny car, multi-time NHRA funny car world champion. His dad, David, Sheeler Motor Mouth, former sponsor of the ADRL, great track partner.
Ended up having some of Hagan's old Pro Mod parts.
Yeah, well, I wrote him a check for $70,000 to get out of that contract. So if you don't think we love our riders and our drivers of the ADRL, trust me.
Amen.
So, and then we went to Topeka, Kansas, which was about as far away from Virginia as you can get. But that wasn't my idea. They paid me to do that, the National Guard. Anyway, so Wilson, we'll put him back in the pocket. And before I let these two guys go, anything else, Dr. Fears?
I guess really the only question I have is, when we talk about changes in technology, like what we were talking about, Wes, since you first came into the ADRL, what do you think is going to be different now? I mean, just the dynamics of the technology. I mean, as far as times, speed.
I think with the fuel injection, we'll be able to speed things up.
Yeah.
I can grab the motor, get the fuel back in it, and I think it'll be quicker.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
I think I can make more power and get the motor hotter.
I mean, do you guys think racing is ready for, what the ADRL and what you guys are getting ready to bring?
Yes. Oh yeah. The ADRL's always been ready. The problem.
Anybody else ready?
Hey, the problem is trying to hunt down that missile, that Mississippi missile. I will have to give Jason credit. He dominated us for a long time.
Heard about that guy.
Clyde's on top right now.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's a man trying.
There's this mad scientist from just down the way in Texas named Doug Reister that's got the last two XRP trophies.
He's got.
I'm just saying,
he's got Clydie Scott's number.
Hey, Jim,
Hey, me and Clyde's been working on some things together, and I think we're gonna have something for him.
Jim said 330s are coming.
Listen,
I think that night he went 53. If somebody to ask,
did he go 53?
Oh yeah, he went 53. Yeah, 217 broke the blower pulley at the finish line. So
He's fast.
Hey, if somebody would have
Texas's most wanted,
needed,
Clyde Scott.
And the problem is too, he don't test. He don't test. He just goes out there. And
I just can't wait to see when he gets to Rockingham for drag stock on Dan Van Horn and Al Generelli's beautiful new 800 foot of concrete wall to wall. If you think the numbers that we put up at Rockingham in the past were fast. September 29th and 30th, I've already looked at the Farmer's Almanac. If you are anywhere within flying distance, forget driving distance, get your ass to drag stock. The tickets are free. What? You can buy a plane ticket for as much as it would cost you to go see a NASCAR or a NHRA race. So what's the difference?
3 major airports around there that you can fly around.
Yes, you can fly into Raleigh-Durham. You can fly into Fayetteville. You can fly into Greensboro. Hell, you can even fly into Charlotte. So really, there's 4.
Yeah, 4.
You have no excuses because Friday night, that second qualifier after these guys get a swing at the fences, that second qualifier Friday night, it wouldn't surprise me to see 4 or 5 guys. Half the field, hell, 8 guys right now are capable, every bit as capable, and by then, who knows how many, of running in the 40s. So
I know
that's ripping, man.
Bubba, who's your daddy standing?
Oh,
that night.
The Mississippi Mud Flap?
Yeah, Mississippi.
Mississippi Mud Flap.
Mississippi Queen.
The Mississippi Mud Flap.
Mississippi.
Both of his Pro Extreme World Championship belts for mud flaps. Yeah, that guy?
Not that guy.
Just saying.
All right, let's quit talking about him for a minute.
He ain't lying, you know.
Yeah.
That was
the mud flap deal.
Oh, well.
All right.
He knows. We got some love.
Hey, well, I'll tell you this. These guys do have a lot of love and respect for each other. But I promise you, when that top stage bulb lights, they want to rip each other's throats out.
It's a dog fight all the way to the end.
Well, I mean, that's what it's about.
Real good friends until we get to the start.
That's right. Then all
and then
bets
we're
are
good
off.
friends at the finish line.
Oh, yeah.
After it's all said and done, you know.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
We've had words at the other end.
I'm just saying.
I was going to ask, I mean, has it ever gotten heated at the end?
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely have the top end cam rolling 24/7 because they can all pretend to play nice, but trust me, sometimes, let somebody double bulb you in Pro Extreme and see what happens at the other end. Keep your helmet on if you're the guy that did it. That's all I'm saying. As a matter of fact, you might want to just, as Erica Enders made famous in NHRA Pro Stock, you might just want to drive the bitch back to the pit.
Yeah.
Just keep rolling.
Yeah.
Or don't go 1 Mississippi until you get to 7 because, again, even though, the reality is you do have 7 seconds, so there's a little bit of gamesmanship that could go on there.
Hey, Ricky.
They don't call him Tricky Ricky for nothing. Tricky Ricky.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it wouldn't.
Well, it worked more times than not because
He won a lot of races.
11 or 12 world championships. I lost count.
A lot of races.
And I don't even know. I don't want to say the wrong number, so I'm not going to guess its age. You don't guess a drag racer's age like you don't guess a woman's age. But I can just tell you, he announced his retirement back in 2004 when I was still running the AMS Pro Mod Challenge. So
he's always going to retire.
He's never going to retire.
It's the anniversary of the retirement.
This is the retirement anniversary. But in all seriousness, he goes down to Charlotte at the 4 wide, which again, I'll leave my opinions about that quietly. But it's hard enough to watch 2 guards, guys. Come on,
it's too much.
Yes, it is. It was fun.
Much.
It was novel. It was cool. But it's enough. Quit acting like it's something new because it's not. No. They were doing this in the 60s to get 50s to get super. Bubba, they 4 wide super stocks out in California because they had so many of them. They just wanted to get them the hell out of there. So anyway, I digress. But I will tell you the most interesting thing about the 4 wide race, aside from Ricky being the only nitrous car to run an NHRA Pro Mod this year, which is a tragedy in itself, he got that big belt from King, North Carolina out, smacked that ass. 66.
Hey, Adam, pull that back up for Mal. What'd Al say?
Unfortunately, what do we got?
Godfather says, talk all that shit when you have a sign mentioning your world championship on the way into your hometown. Then you're a badass.
Welcome to Potts Camp,
Mississippi. Camp on the map.
Home of 2-time Pro Extreme ADRL world champion.
We're going to
Bubba Stanton.
Give him plenty of shit.
Hey, Bubba's a bad dude.
He is a bad dude.
He is, but I'll tell you this, enough playing nice.
And the nicest guy ever.
These guys, he is Bubba's salt of the earth. There's no doubt about it, but I promise you, when that top stage bulb lights, these guys turn into a different. I wish that, and maybe we can get with some sports scientists, psychologists, and put the all the EKG stuff on you guys, because I promise you, these guys reach a whole different level when that top stage bulb comes on. Because let's face it, you're driving the most wild, out of control. I'll never forget what John Ford said. They were testing, and he came over and was looking at Troy Critchley and Thomas Patterson's then Pro Mod cars, not even Pro Extreme, which no offense to a Pro Mod guy, but really. Pro Extreme's a whole different ballgame. You don't believe me? Show up down here in Ferris, Texas, June 9th and 10th. We'll show you what a drag race looks like. Meanwhile, John Forrest, Troy Critchley's like, you want to make a lap, mate? He's like, no. I mean, this guy drives nitro funny cars. He's been upside down and saw Elvis in Memphis at 300 or 1,300 feet on fire. Swears he saw Elvis as he went by, upside down and on fire. He's like, I have zero interest in ever driving one of those things. You guys are completely effing nuts.
Yeah.
So now take that up a whole nother notch. Pro Extreme. I mean, you guys have driven legal Pro Mod cars, and you've driven Pro Extreme cars. Is there really a comparison when it really breaks down to it?
Just more power and no rules.
Yeah.
That's the part about it.
Rules are for high school basketball.
Exactly.
So with that, I'll let the Texas Grim Reaper go bring in our next two guests. I have no idea where we are time-wise, Adam. Can you help me out? I think we're right approaching an hour, but we're going to bring him in anyway.
Just shy of an hour.
Wild West, my brother.
See you, Wes.
Lord,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
rent checks in the mail.
See you, Steve.
The Texas Grim Reaper, Steve Wiley, Wild West Johnson, 2 of the pre-entered 19, actually 20 as of today. I'll put it up after the show. Pro Extreme cars coming down to duke it out in Ferris, Texas, Extreme Raceway Park, Drag Palooza, June 9th and 10th. Get your free tickets at ADRLtour.com. I'm going to bring in a guy that needs no introduction when it comes to Texas outlaw racing because he and his wife basically spearheaded the entire movement down here. We drove by Kennedale today, and it brought back some memories from that. And if you look at this field of cars, there's a lot of Texas Outlaw Pro Mod Association cars in this field. Tapma was and still, in my opinion, humbly the best regional Pro Mod series that's ever existed. And our next guest spearheaded the whole deal. In addition to winning races and championships, he also ran the whole deal from the business side. The bounty hunter, the Texas bounty hunter, Galen Smith. Galen, my man. And where's your cheerleader? Come on, Bird. Get Conrad. Jump in here. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Addition to running Pro Extreme, he is also the general manager of. There he is, Conrad.
Oh, there's Conrad.
Al Tucci, do you know how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Conrad does. Don't you, Conrad?
Hi.
Do you like your Uncle Bubba? No. He took my eye. Anyway, we'll tell Conrad's story next week. We couldn't bring him, or we couldn't come to Texas without him. I'd have had to have Larry Lorraine fly him down. Remember when we flew him to Michigan? We left him at home one time, Dr. Fears. Bones, I don't know how you leave of all the things. Like Conrad's the first on the checklist. Put Conrad in his Pelican case. I'm the only person in Bubba and Galen just because they're A, Henri, and B, a lot bigger than me. You got to wear light gloves. This is like the Stanley Cup. You got to lay him in his Pelican case.
That's right.
And he's the first thing that goes on the rigs. Bones forgot him, but our great friend Larry Lorraine in St. Louis flew him to Michigan. He had his own private jet.
Oh, gotta love it.
Jack,
good, buddy. What do you think about that, Jack?
Thanks to Von Smith, because Von Smith was the one that noticed that on our shirts, and I love our folks that used to do our uniforms. Pro things are Jason Allen, great, amazing people. I proofread the damn thing. I didn't notice it, but Von says to me at Valdosta, like 2 races into that tour, he says, 2013, he said, who did your shirts? And I'm like, Jason, the Pro things are pretty badass, right? The neon green, like you can see us down here, we're not blending in anymore. I know where Bubba wanted to know where his guys were. So he, hey, Ron said, that's fine, but could the guy not spell? And I said, what are you talking about? He said, your shirt's missing an I. I said, what? He said, it says a fickle. I said, so here I am. I'm looking. I'm like, come on, man. I'm like, do you just want to see me with my shirt off on? Maybe I don't know. I took it off and I turned around and it says a fickle. I go upstairs and now I'm going through my email like I approved this, and sure enough, there's a picture of me somewhere on the internet like this, standing next to Bubba. Like, how did I miss that? How did all of us? Like, how did it get to the point where we actually printed them, wore them for an entire race? Nobody said anything. So for the rest of the year, when we needed an ADRL official, we would say ADRL fickle to the tower. We need ADRL fickle animal to the tower. So we get to Virginia. There's this lovely black woman sitting over in the corner, and I look, and there he is, the one-eyed owl.
The one-eyed owl, our man.
Now, Here's a trivia question for you. We'll see if anybody, not you, Corzine, can anybody out there in Never Neverland, we'll give, you know what we'll do?
Don't let out.
You know what we'll do?
Don't let out.
I will save because the Dragpalooza t-shirts are going to be gone like that. Okay, they'll be gone Friday afternoon. I will save you in your size a Dragpalooza t-shirt to the first person that chimes in, other than an ADRL or former ADRL employee and any member of their family. That little disclaimer. Why we named Conrad. Now we are a drag racing league, and we named Conrad the one-eyed owl. Why did we name him Conrad? And who did we name him after?
Who is the one-eyed owl named after?
So this one-eyed owl named Conrad is named after a famous world championship NHRA top fuel drag racer.
You're giving too much information.
I mean, I've given you all the teases you need. Who's going to chime in here?
There you go. Who's gonna let it out?
I mean,
Altucci says, shh.
No, you're a family member. One of those things that was in the disclaimer.
You don't even know anyway.
Anyway, while we wait for them to figure it out, now I am just absolutely ashamed. Who said that?
Paul Gibbs says Colada.
Paul Gibbs.
What did he say?
He's a driver, so he's not like a family member. So Paul.
Okay, Eddie.
Trailer. Eddie Lair. His truck's
Lair.
downstairs. I was sitting in it today, Eddie. That thing's awesome. I'm like taking selfies in Eddie Lair's badass truck. What is that? A 66?
Melody says Kalia.
Hey, Tucci. It's a year off of my old man's truck that I rode behind the seat in. Wait till you see this thing when I give the tour in just a few minutes. Anyway, enough of me blabbing my mouth. Conrad, you come down here. It's okay, buddy. It's okay.
Hey, Big Head, introduce your guest, brother.
I did. This is
no, you didn't.
Texas Bounty Hunter Smith. I don't even know this guy. He just showed up and started drinking beer. This is the ADRL Vice President of Competition, Bubba Corzine, aka the underboss, because the real boss is Mom Letha. She's sitting over there. So meanwhile, who's texting me? I'm on the air, people. Oh, that was my low battery thing. Oh, this should be fun.
Oh, now we better speed this up.
We're not gonna get much time, are we?
Yeah. What the hell is Apple talking about? Telling me I got a low battery. Anyway, you're exactly right, Paul Gibbs. It is Conrad Coletta, but
there it is, Paul.
Somebody to donate your shirt to, because with all the houses you're building in Georgia, some of the most beautiful multi-million-dollar lake homes everywhere, Paul Gibbs is killing it, and he's coming with a badass Pro Extreme hot rod. And wait till you see what he shows up with in Rockingham. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag.
Oh,
Caleb Smith, the Texas Bounty Hunter. Bubba Corzine, you've been watching this guy race since I was in diapers,
Well,
literally.
I was in diapers when he was racing.
I thought he just started wearing diapers this year. I didn't know. Anyway,
I've known Galen for 25 years. Long time. Always got a phone call every day. At Kennedale, we raced on Friday nights. Had a weird program. We ran from 7 to midnight, and we ran 2 qualifiers and 3 rounds of racing. It was a compact, quick show.
And finished it.
And every show, I don't remember a show, and you're just as bad. You're part of it, Celeste. I'd get a call about 6:30. About 6:30. 7 was first qualified. I said, "We're leaving the shop. Can you hold the back of the staging lanes? I promise I'll be there."
Mr. and Mrs. Topma.
I would run the cars. I'd call Gary on the start line. I'd tell Gary, run them slow. Galen's on the way. And we'd wait and get him in. He'd kick everybody's ass, and they'd all be mad at me for letting him come in like that.
When you got your own shop and racers work for you, they took off early to go.
Yeah,
race.
Right.
Wiley was one of them, by the way.
Yeah, Wiley was one of them.
Yeah.
Like you said,
left the shop early, and he had to stay
ain't
at the
raced
shop.
in 8 months.
Loads
Just
on-
No, he did not. He got to the shape.
Well, there you go. See?
He didn't leave the shop.
So,
early,
Galen,
he got to the shop
you
late.
have been around this deal as long as anybody, all the way back to the Topma days. There's so many Topma guys that are going to be competing at Dragpalooza at XRP on June 9th and 10th. It's got to make you a little bit proud.
Oh yeah, yeah. We still the Topma guys. The Topma deal is still around. It's never going to go away. It's changed names a few times, but yeah, these guys still love it, and they're still going to keep racing. Whether you do good, whether you do bad, as long as you have a good time and go home, you're going to come back.
Amen.
So hey, I got a question for Galen.
Go right ahead, Doctor.
Hey, Galen. So for the drivers, I mean, you've been driving with the ADRL for a long time. What what makes you really want to race with the ADRL? What makes it so unique for you as a racer?
Well, it's a whole different program. It wasn't bought, actually. It was invented. And that's what we liked about it. And back when NHRA stuff went to some of the NHRA deals, and Kenny Allen came up and had a crazy idea about the tickets and all this shit. And I was like, it might work, it might not. We don't know. But I mean, you don't ever know till you try something. And
right.
It was kind of the same league we was. We never really run. I only ran one NHRA event, and of course, I don't know how much beer it cost us, but it did. It cost us. One thing about the ADRL stuff is kind of where our roots come from. We took
Amen.
off the race when the race hit the ground. We ran hung wide open. All the way to the last pair of cars, and that kind of keeps your adrenaline going. That's the deal with the adrenaline. If you keep it going, you're always going to enjoy it. And once it stops, you just stop. One day I'm probably going to want to quit racing, but at this point in time, I don't. But
yeah. So what would you say is,
man? It's always been there. It's always going to be there. When I talked to him, when I answered the phone one day, and when he introduced himself, I told hey, this is Kenny. I don't know if you remember. I said, come on, man. I knew when hung wide open. I kept going, huh? He disappeared for a minute, so everything. We didn't stop, but we slowed down. All of a sudden, I was like, shit, stick this son of a bitch in high gear. Let's go. And
let's go, man. Let's go.
Where we're going. And y'all will see, man. Sometimes if you don't put a little fire under an older person, they just don't. The flame will go out, and I'm not ready for that.
Amen. So what would you say?
The other shirt that he wears is XRP, because in addition to running Pro Extreme and going after the Dragpalooza Pro Extreme title, he's also the general manager of XRP. So
that's right.
Different directions, but
that's right.
Love it. It keeps you going. As y'all know, Clyde's a little younger, man. When he takes off running, sometimes it's like fishing. I got to run out there and peel him back to see what the hell. So we get on the same page. We turn him loose, and he goes wide open. Then that's the way he gets every morning hung wide open. And right now we're actually trying to calm him down. We need him around for a while, but
yeah,
we're excited about it. But it's like our shows. We don't run no limits, no nothing. Because limits, sometimes when you put limit on people, they say it saves you money. It doesn't. It really costs you more. You got to run your shit hard and everything else to do it.
Right.
When that's talking about all the weight, putting them in the coffins at Rockingham, the Rock, going back. I just want to know what 6 people can carry that coffin.
That's going to be heavy, man. It's going to be heavy.
There's actually going to be people jumping in them just to get rid of it. But,
right.
They invented some stuff that we done. Like I say, Wes is hot rod. He's building. It's a way more updated program than what we're used to, and some of us still run the old school deal. But you know what? You still got to take off. You still got to win. You still got to prove yourself. You still got to bring yourself up to game. And
hell yes.
I've had faster cars. Not gonna mention Clyde's name. Watched me stage and actually gave me the hit. And I think I told him thanks for the break. I needed it. And, of course, he's got blood running down his mouth and telling me that he didn't do it. But he gave me the break this year. But man, that's what keeps it going. You don't have to be one kind of racer. You don't have to have one kind of part. When you pull into a ADRL top situation, there may be 800 different combinations, but you still got to go down and you still got to race, and that's why we do it.
Amen.
Speaking of which, the next race before we come, June 9th and 10th, is coming up.
Yeah, not this coming weekend, but weekend after next, we will. It'll be a full outlaw show.
They draw huge crowds in there, which is one of the reasons we came. But I promise you, on June 9th and 10th, that place is going to be overflowing. I hope Clyde and Galen and Celeste are okay with people standing on the bathrooms, because that's probably where they'll be at some point. But
probably still have somebody up there for the weekend. But
yeah, exactly.
But as long as you get down, okay, we're doing it.
That's right. Jump, Cletus! It's only 4 feet, man.
Some fingernails.
I know. I couldn't believe he's calling. He was crying. Bro, give me that damn phone.
Well, how do you?
Boss, there ain't nothing wrong with him.
Something you said, well,
damn
sissified. He got stabbed because somebody grabbed a handful of free tickets.
That's what I said. I'm like, what are you fighting for free, Cletus? Why did you give
They're
it
free.
He's like, give me what you got, Cletus. Seriously, he's like, hey man, what you got in your hand? Give them to me. And Cletus is like, I ain't giving you shit, man.
How do you give a bunch of tickets to a guy named Cletus? To number 1.
Hey, whoever nicknamed him Cletus, he's already had his ass whipped off his life.
That's right. It wasn't a nickname. That's on his mama and daddy. I couldn't get it. You don't nickname someone named Cletus. And I don't want to pick on him because I love Cletus. He did a great job. But good dude. But I will never ever forget the fact that he called I thought somebody put one of those like those big Rambo serrated I'm like, oh my God, get him to the hospital, he's gonna bleed out. And Frog's like, will you give me that damn? There ain't nothing wrong with him, boss. I'm sorry, I even called and bothered you. Calling the boss, you dumb son of a click. Well, Bubba Corzine, what's the bump spot gonna be in Texas? We'll say eight. No, it's 16. 16. We've got more than 6. Our rule, 13 or more. We run 16.
Okay. 16.
Way more than 13.
Yes.
16 car field bump. 72. It's going to be in the 70s. It's going to be in the 70s. Yeah.
I promise you, whoever runs the 72 better hope their opponent red lights all 3 rounds if they want to get a trophy.
You mean like Wiley's opponents did on that deal we were doing?
There's a whole lot.
So I'll go the other way, Eric.
No, it's going to be a 70 something.
Okay, all right. So bumps. I'm gonna say that it's definitely gonna be in the 60s, but we'll argue about that there.
But it might. It could be.
Who's going low? Number wise, you don't have to pick.
Now wait. We got to know. We don't have the list of entries. We don't have the entries.
Well, let's just say.
I tell you what, I don't even.
Wait, they don't have the entry list. My hardcore ADRL Pro Extreme Outlaws, and the entry list is published on our social media everywhere.
Yes, it is.
You think Tutterall will come play with us?
No.
He will. Okay. He will eventually.
I think eventually they're all coming home. I think they're all coming home. You can't stay away. You want to race with the best.
I'll say Tutterall won't come because when I talked to him about 3 or 4 weeks back to have some packages delivered at the track. He did.
Well, I'm not saying he won't come.
He did say he wants to come up on Texas track, wants to come race with us. This is an open door.
Yeah, it absolutely is. There's no invitation required. There's nobody left out. And listen, Todd Tutterall is a former ADRL Pro Extreme national event winner and world champion. So I handed him the check for 50 large. So listen, and arguably one of the top 3 or 5 door slammer racers of all time.
Yeah, he could bring a legal car in and give us help.
Yeah.
The dude's bad.
He is bad to the bone.
Tutterall.
So what's going to be low? Number wise, no people.
I mean, listen, it's June in Texas, so it's not going to be Rockingham in September.
There's one thing about Texas, though. I mean, we love everybody coming to Texas. We really do. But the weather up here is so crazy. The racetracks, one thing the ADRL did is they concentrated around, good weather stuff. So we'd have to deal with the heat and all, early stuff. But like this weekend, our track was 143 degrees at one time. The humidity was 100, so even spraying the track is like part glue, part water type deal. So it's not going to be a walk in the park to do it, but it's not going to be sloppy whatsoever. I wouldn't be surprised if number 1 qualifier is not in the 40s, maybe high 40s, but definitely low 50s.
Low 50s. That's what I think.
There's a big red bear sitting on the parking lot right now. He don't run 40 something pretty quick.
So can we punch that into the computer and let him run and get it out of the way?
Yeah. So now fast forward to drag stop.
He is looking forward to
the biggest door slammer race on the planet. September. I keep wanting to say October because our birthday is October the 8th, but September 29th and 30th, the weather in Rockingham, North Carolina, they got 900. I keep saying 900. I read that somewhere, I promise. 800 feet. Listen, it's more than 660. That's all that matters.
Yep.
800 feet of new concrete, wall to wall, Rockingham, North Carolina, a few hundred feet above sea level. The adjusted will be way below sea level. Late September, early, September 29th and 30th. I think if you're going to have lane choice first round, you're going to need to run a 40.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and there's going to be a lot of testing and new cars. And listen, I hope they all listen. We're not here. You and I discussed this the very first time we had lunch. We're not here to compete with anybody because when we run our race, and this is the way that I was always taught to race. I didn't do it very good. Like Alan Reinhardt said, the driving genes skipped a generation in the Nowling family. KJ's a killer. My dad was a killer. Me, not so much. Thank God I learned how to promote. Or I'm still learning, actually. But my point is these guys, 100%, every single time they come to the line after probably the Rockingham event, you're going to need to run a mid to low 50 to even play. I mean, that's where the evolution of Pro Extreme was headed. Listen, from 2004 to 2010, what other class? I challenge anyone to show me another class in drag racing history that progressed at the rate Pro Extreme went. When we went in the 390s, well, they'll never run 380s. Well, the 370s in the 8th mile, come on, man. 200, 220, 230, 360s, what? 350s, huh? 340s. Within the next 18 months, 330s will happen. It's going to take the perfect conditions, no doubt, but I don't want to hear anybody tell me that you can't run a 330 in a Pro Extreme car when these cars have picked up more progressively. I mean, I know cars in classes, and I'm not going to name any because we need all the cars we can, but I know classes who have not picked up 500s in 15 years.
I agree.
We picked up 5/10 in 5 years. I mean, the evolution was unprecedented. So,
Well,
Bert,
don't forget one thing, one important thing. With the last 2 winners of Galen Circuit has been the nitrous car.
I know, and listen, when I told Doug, hey, I called the mad
So all
scientist.
you nitrous guys, I'm putting out a challenge. All of you Halsey and who else is over there that runs good? They can come run. Y'all guys run good
absolutely.
enough. Throw the weight out of those cars and come over here and run.
But you know what? And here's what Doug said. I said, well, you know, we're gonna eventually we'll have Pro Nitrous back. I mean, we created the class, we named it for God's sake. But right now we're starting with Pro Extreme, and we'll work our way into that as we've talked about several times. But when I talked to Doug, the mad scientist, he's like, I don't care. You can bring Pro Nitrous back in Texas. He's like, I'm running Pro Extreme. I don't care about these Pro Nitrous guys. So
Billy Harper did.
you know,
Yep.
Billy Harper was a bad man back in the day. The governor.
There's some nitrous cars that run low 60s at weight.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's no doubt that a PDRA Pro Nitrous car without the weight in, the heavy hitters,
The Randy Weather.
Tommy Franklin's, I think he moved to Pro Boost. You don't follow that much, do you?
No, I don't follow PDO.
I didn't think so.
I don't watch
Meanwhile,
the competition.
1L Bill, he'll be coming back out. Don't worry. Their new car is, I believe it's at Vanishing Point up at Jim Geese's place.
Who is
So
It's got a new test.
1L Bill, big money.
Big money.
Big money. Suzanne Gage, Bill the Clantons from Rome, Georgia. Anyway, but as it applies to the Pro Nitrous guys, absolutely. Halsey, Tommy Franklin, Jay Cox.
Yep.
These guys could come here and absolutely
Throw the weight out.
throw the weight out, put it in the coffin with the rest of it, and run with these Pro Extreme guys.
I'd really like to see how fast
For
Jim
the
Halsey
moment.
could run with all the weight out.
Well, for the moment. I mean, it's not like it would last long, but it would be fun for a while. And then we'd have Pro Nitrous
But
again.
Doug can
and all would
outrun
be
him.
right in the world.
Doug can run faster than him right now.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any weight in his car.
I know.
Whatever. Like I said, rules, high school basketball. We'll do a tour of the shop next time because I know we're running way over, and Prince Adam, as I call him, producer Adam, just doesn't sound appealing enough because he's my prince. He's buzzing in the ear saying, "Yeah, we're going over again, man. We're like $1.24 in."
I'm more
So much
worried
for an
about
hour
your
show.
phone
Let's
battery than
get
anything
all
else.
us together.
You can't have an hour show with this group.
No, so we're just gonna have to kick it to 90 minutes. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Do whatever the hell we want.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Probably only $400 or
Hey,
$500.
time flies.
So with this, what's our last comment there?
Jessica, she says, Bubba and Galen haven't aged a bit. Can't wait to be sitting at the table.
Both got gray hair.
Oh, is that a shot?
What?
Did Jess just throw a bomb at me? She said, Bubba and Galen haven't aged a bit. And old Baldy sitting here in the middle got none of that.
I finally caught up with Galen. I've been
Hey,
keeping him for years.
Fierce.
Yeah.
I got 2 words for you, doctor. Mike Shea. Just Google him.
Hey.
Just Google him.
All right.
Trust me, my ex-wife's lawyer knows who he is.
You were
I
on-
kid, I
You
kid.
were on at Killerdale up there. Look how young you are.
Look at me back there.
Look at that. Look at that.
Speaking of young and sexy with that Outlaw Pro Mods t-shirt. All right, Fierce.
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy
Thanks,
birthday.
man. I appreciate it.
Perfect, buddy.
Good
Appreciate
luck
it,
to,
gentlemen.
make this trip around the sun. I know it'll be your best yet because what did the Queen chime in with? What do we got now?
You know better.
Adam's throwing her up there.
She says, you know better. Kenny, you know better.
Yeah, whatever, dude. Mike Shea Cola Lacey O'Donnell. Anyway,
Hey, Carter wants to know if you're going to talk about juniors. We're going to talk about juniors at all.
Carter, my man. we will have Pro Junior and Top Junior at both Drag Palooza and Drag Stock.
Thanks, Al.
As we discussed, something happened over here. I don't
Wiley
know.
made a pass on the screen.
Wiley shook so hard on the TV that it actually knocked the beer over on the table. That taking a pro extreme can be a real bitch.
Here we go.
I think Carter's ready, Kenny.
Sir?
I said, I think Carter's ready.
Carter. So Carter is ready, and Carter, I cannot wait to meet you. Your passion, you're exactly the reason you are a future star of this sport.
Amen.
Like so many others that started in Pro Junior Dragster. 2 of our Pro Extreme guys right now, man. 2 of our Pro Extreme guys starting an ADRL Pro. We got an ADRL Pro Junior right here in the house. His #1 qualifier plaque's over there somewhere, young Wiley.
Come here, what?
Huh? Yes, and did your granddaughter not just win her first race not long ago?
She won a couple y'all right off the bat. She just turned 8, so she's got.
It's in our blood, man.
That's great, man.
It's in our blood.
Pro mod before long.
But Carter, here's what I'll tell you, buddy. Drag racing needs 1 million more yous, because your passion and the interaction you and I have had and communicating back and forth, every time you race, I'll be watching from here on out, no matter where it is. And I cannot wait to meet you in Rockingham. That Top Junior Dragster low qualifier plaque is based off of reaction time, the only class of drag racing that does that. And then Pro Junior Dragster, the 790 index classes, of course, who runs closest to the index. My son, KJ Nowling, owns the record for 9 low qualifiers. I mean, it's a fact.
I'm not arguing. What are you hollering at me?
Whatever, dude.
Carter wants that Minute Man.
Yes, they all do.
When y'all come to Texas, did you let them know we have 2 junior classes? We have the regular junior sportsman.
Oh, I
we have
forgot.
We have the regular junior class, and we've got Outlaw 330 cars. Them Outlaw 330 cars.
Breaking news, I forgot. We are going to have
And we do have a motorcycle. I seen Kim Morrell said so. We do have a 450 heads up bike class right now, which we're working on the index. So it's not just pro mods.
that is extreme index motorcycle now.
Yeah.
We're no longer using any numbers. We said the hell with the numbers.
Turn them loose.
Yeah,
Turn them loose.
It sounds like some ADRL.
Turn them loose.
They still have the index. We're just not going to tell anybody about it.
Okay, forget about that.
Right.
Some other promoter got. Listen, no. Some other promoter got their panties in a wad. He's like, I can't believe they're using our class name. Really? Because half of the drag racing world's using class names we invented. So what's the difference?
Let's tell them what they want to hear, and we'll do what we want to do.
That's right.
That's right.
Adrenaline.
ADRL, adrenaline. Not on asphalt anymore, but it still sounds cooler than adrenaline on concrete, so I'm going to stick with it.
Love it.
Fierce.
Yes, sir.
Fierce for Adam. Next week, same bat time, same bat channel. 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Adrenaline. I'll be wearing some new specs. We'll be announcing a new sponsor for Adrenaline, new title sponsor, and a new title sponsor for Drag Stock. So lots of exciting stuff on behalf of the Texas Grim Reaper, Steve Wiley, a.k.a. my new landlord, John Sullivan. I'm not stealing your nickname. Where'd he go? Wild Wild West Johnston. There he is. He's over there. Imagine that.
Over there eating.
Elbow deep in a bowl of chips and chugging Bud Lights. Jalen Smith, the Texas Bounty Hunter, my man. And, of course, Bubba Corzine. Can't wait to be back. The A-Team hits Texas, XRP, June 9th and 10th. Get your free tickets at ADRLtour.com. If you have not subscribed to the ADRL YouTube channel, just go ahead and do it. You might win $100.
That's
Come
right.
see
What are you
it.
waiting for?
Come to
We
Texas.
should be giving away our not this week and next week in the Pro Mod race. We should be giving tickets away.
Celeste and I, we got this. You stick to this. Yeah.
Yes, time to go get a beer.
Hey, guys.
Can't wait.
See you in Texas.
Good night. Come to Texas.
Good night, gentlemen.
Hasta luego.